A student has been killed in clashes outside Cairo University. Protests aren't allowed in Egypt now without permission, but supporters of the ousted President Mohammed Morsi took little notice today. They went on the streets in support of 21 women and girls who have been sentenced to up to 11 years in jail for demonstrating in support of Mr. Morsi. Well, with me now is Leana, Hosea, Middle East editor for BBC World Service. Leana, let's look at these protests in Cairo first. What were the circumstances of them?
Well, these students were protesting outside Cairo University and the police dispersed them with tear gas, water cannon and birdshot. This is allowed now under the new law in Egypt, which they call the anti-protest law. But these students were protesting against these harsh sentences passed on these 21 females, and 7 of them are actually under 18. The youngest one is 15. They're charged with being at a pro-Morsi demonstration. But I mean, when you compare this to what some policemen get, these sentences are very harsh. Human rights groups have called it, you know, crazy and insane that they would get such high sentences. I mean, only today 3 policemen were acquitted, accused of torturing inmates in prison. So this has really inflamed rights groups and, of course, pro-Morsi supporters.
And we've seen in recent months the army cracking down on the Muslim Brotherhood. Is that how we should perceive what's been happening today, both with the sentencing and the protests, or is this actually a broader crackdown, not just on Morsi supporters?
Well, obviously, over the last several months, Morsi supporters have been bearing the brunt. I was actually there when they massacred more than 800 Morsi supporters on the streets, and arrested thousands of them. But actually, on Tuesday, there was a secular protest. They were also protesting against this law which limits protest, and they were arrested by the police. And a group of women say that they were beaten. You know, footage shows that they were beaten while they were arrested, and then those women also say that they were sexually harassed within prison, and then they were taken out to a desert road and just dumped there in the middle of the night. This is the sort of thing that happened under Mubarak, and this is what people fear, that it's not just against the Brotherhood, now it's turning against other secular and the rest of Egypt.
Just before I let you go, how does this law work? If I'm an Egyptian and I want to protest about something, I am allowed to do it, but I first have to get permission to do it, is that right?
Yes, you've got to apply for permission, give at least 3 days notice to the police, and then, you know, they either give you the yay or the nay. I mean, if you, and as I said earlier, it's now legal for them to use a water cannon and tear gas, which they have been using, we've been seeing over the past couple of days. Obviously, you know, many Egyptians are saying, well, we had a revolution. I mean, they wouldn't have allowed you to have that revolution if, if this law was in place, and that's what they're worried about.
Okay, Leana, thank you very much for coming to see us. Leana's the Middle East editor for BBC World Service. Now, protesters in Bangkok have